Sports listeners, I am your host, Erica Salda, the Queen of Teens. Please tune in
every single Tuesday.
This whole hour side of our teen athletes. And all those people and businesses that support those teen athletes. I don't know what to say. I can't even. I mean, who am I talking to right now?
Who are you talking to?
Who am I looking at? Huh?
Me. It's Alexandria. The one.
the only.
Alexandria.
I could cry. You said this because this might be your. It is. I guess this is your last show for a little bit, for a little while.
For a little while.
But you'll be back
next week.
I know, but you'll be
Tuesday.
back. You'll be back the very first time that you're allowed to be back. That you can be back. From Berkeley. You'll be back.
Yeah, I will be back.
No, you're coming back.
Yeah.
That's it.
So
just like that's it.
I know. Time passes by like this, man.
You're amazing.
No.
Yes.
It's been a really good year. So yeah. I don't know. Okay, we'll move on.
So tell me, is it exciting when you're thinking about it?
Yeah, it's all very exciting. I just met my roommates a few days ago, so that was great. And I'm just easing into it now. I have so many things to buy still. Wow. I'm very behind. But other than that, it's been really great. And
we always do the check-in. Have you learned the laundry?
Yeah, I'm pretty good now. I feel pretty good about everything. So that I'm not so concerned about. It's just more buying actual stuff for everything. But but we've been coordinating it all, so I feel really good about how the direction that we're going in, and I know my classes, I know everything else. I mean, they probably will change at some point, but yeah.
So when you get a chance, write up an intention for your housemates and put that on the wall.
Yeah, we discussed that too. So
nice.
We're all very.
So how many alphas do you have in the pack? Tell the truth.
Probably 2-ish. It's but we all complement each other. There's 3 roommates, so 2 of us are more talky, and then the other one is more quiet, but not so quiet.
So that means it's trouble when all 3 of you are together then, right?
No, yeah. Oh, yeah, we're tearing up the town. Berkeley better watch out. Yeah, definitely. So it'll be really good, though, I think. I stayed the night at one of their houses, and it went very smoothly, and I don't know, we just have really similar living styles, I think, and we're all pretty aware of our own situation and everything. Keeping our space to ourselves.
There you go, personal space, right?
Yeah.
Very good.
If you can, name one thing that you wish you would have known before this time that you could pass on to someone else.
Before this time last year?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh my gosh, wait, so, sorry. There's just so many different ways I could answer that. So before college or anything, I would just say that, wow, there's so many things. Definitely just keep everything in perspective because the year goes by so quickly. So
it's almost like trying to explain to a tadpole what it's like
to be a frog.
To breathe, be a frog.
Yeah.
It's quite a transition.
It is. And obviously I haven't started living on my own yet or anything, so I don't have too much advice in that way, but just in terms of the whole preparation process, I think that doing your research on, being prepared, keeping in touch with your advisors, all of that stuff is really important. Skills that you have in high school, you can really easily lose in such a big school, especially in college when you're like, oh, I'm independent, and you don't want to just coast through by yourself because you'll miss a lot of opportunities that way. That's what I would say.
Okay, be honest. Are you afraid?
Am I afraid? I really was. I did have a lot of anxiety for a while, and I still think it hasn't kicked in that I'm going for beyond the 2-week orientation. I'm going now for quite a long time, so a little anxiety, but I think mostly I'm excited, and I'm going to be meeting a lot of new people, and just, I feel like my classes are all things that I like for the first semester. So I'm keeping it pretty low-key, but I just have been applying for a lot of different things, like ASB type things at Berkeley. It's a little different than it is at the high school level, but that and there's different teams and different, for sports teams. I started researching that too.
That's huge.
I mean, there's just so many different things going on. So it's hard for me to.
I think Erica's son John is attending JFK. So you've got people you can call on.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of people in that area too. Sasha's up there too,
That's
right? Yeah. So there are definitely a lot of people up there. My cousin lives up there too, and yeah. So anyway, there's a lot. I'm excited, but I won't be too far from home, so
that's it.
I think it'll be
the airport's
okay.
close.
Yeah, I mean, it's actually quite a trek to go to the airport and then transfer over.
I know your mom. There's a helicopter pad somewhere.
She'll be close by. We were joking about that the other day.
Fast track. Have you gotten a fast track? That'll help you out with the toll roads.
So I'm not driving. I'm not taking my own car. And if you're going to Berkeley, I wouldn't advise that you bring a car your freshman year anyway. If you were at UCLA or UCSB, then I would see why you would have one. But over there, it's kind of hard, and there's more public transportation. They give you a free BART pass, though, when you enroll. So that's good. But yeah, I'm just getting a lot of new stuff right now together. So
nice. You're going to be great.
Yeah.
You'll be fine.
No, I'm going to miss you very much.
I know. Aww. Well, I won't be too far away, so I know there's been a lot of.
I can't wait for you to meet your replacement. Because
I know
you read the fine print. Don't look at me in shock.
No, I'm trying not to.
Yeah, that's right. You got 7 days. I'm so excited.
I know.
Okay, let's pass the mic over to somebody that I don't have to worry about. Okay, there you go. Dr. Dale is in the house. The next segment, we're going to start off with you, and I can't wait to get the topic down. But you always like to surprise us, and that's going to be next segment. How's your summer?
My summer is actually delightful. The weather, except for the one time it was 101 degrees at 9:30 at night. I've just been loving the summer, swimming. It's been great.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Are you writing? Are you journaling? Are you blogging? What are you doing?
Well, I see my clients, and then I try to get some exercise. And when I can squeeze a little bit of time in, the other part of me is an artist, and so I'm doing artwork.
Fantastic artist, actually.
Yeah, well.
Yes. I love your art.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So you're back in the art.
Well, I've never, ever been out of it since I've been about 3 years old. It's always been there, and it's joyful, and I have a lot of gratitude for it. But my focus, obviously, throughout my life has been drawn into other fields. As human beings, I just feel that we have just so much potential. I mean, in 1,000 lifetimes, we wouldn't use up developing different aspects of our potential. So I just enjoy the different aspects of mine. But, you don't want to just do too much and then not have enough for any one thing. So. Yeah. Nice. I have to limit. But I'll tell you, I am taking recorder lessons in 2 weeks.
Oh, nice.
Which is a whole new thing.
Beautiful.
Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, are those the recorders that, those types of recorders, or is it a different type of recorder?
No, it's like a flute.
Okay.
It's a flute.
We used to play those a lot in elementary school.
So I've been into music off and on different times in my life, and the idea of learning a new instrument is it's kind of a little bit thrilling, so I look forward to that.
Nice. And if somebody wanted to get a hold of you, what's your contact information?
Well, the easiest contact, of course, is through my website, which is just www.dalefigtree.com. And my email address, dafigtree@aol.com.
Nice. So, I'm looking forward to the next segment. Dr. Dale Figtree. Woo! Yes. Look who we have. Kahla. Yes. You'll be starting a new school.
Yes. I'm going to be starting Laguna in, I think it's about a month now.
Nice. And next week we've got tryouts for...
volleyball.
Yay!
Yeah, I'm excited. It should be really fun. I'm excited to meet all the girls and get to know my new classmates.
So we've got a project you're going to be talking about after Dr. Dale does her little piece. And give us a little bit of a little teaser what you're going to be talking about.
Yeah, so about a week ago, I was just kind of scrolling through Instagram, and I saw something about a She Is Beautiful run, and it just sounded like something that I would be interested in, so I looked into it, and it's a run that just kind of supports women in our community, and so I just kind of like took on this little mini project, and I'm working on signing up girls to come run with me and also collecting donations for the Girls Inc. program.
I love that. That's
Very
beautiful. Very nice. We'll talk about that as well. All right, last, my boy, my brother, my homie, huh? What do you got going on before we go to break?
Actually, just staying alive right now because it's a little hot out there, you know.
That's awesome. How's our downtown project working out? Good?
Actually, we're still looking for a lot of teens, so we're really wanting to recruit these teens because it's a very good project for them to be involved in because, you know, this is history to be in the making, so we're really hoping that we can get these teens involved.
Well, like way short? Way short. You got that way short look at you, but that's not good.
No, not at all.
Okay.
Just kidding.
No. Well, so starting up right now, right?
Yeah, the sooner the better.
Okay.
The more kids that we have, the better. And, you know, I just want some of these kids to be able to have something to own. So hopefully we can get to that.
So who do we call?
You'll be calling Joe Merritt at the Galena Valley Community Center at 805-967-1237.
All right, we'll talk about it at a break.
All right.
Let's take a little break. Aretha Salda, enjoy these commercials. Dr. D worked really hard. We'll be back with more after these messages. We are back, and this is the Santa Barbara Teen Sports Radio Show. I'm your host, Aretha Salda, the Queen of Teen. Please tune in
Every single Tuesday.
I'm dying of thirst. You didn't even drink your water. Anthony, drink your water.
I'm trying.
This
what?
water.
Your water?
This water, look at it. Just a little bit left. My water came out of like 6 or 7 filters. This water, let me read this water. Crystal, I better not, why, am I going to get in trouble? Bottled at the source. Crystal Geyser, is this a geyser? Crystal Natural Alpine Spring Water by Gigi Roxanne. She must be in the water business.
And the one that she gave me is by Erica Salda, right?
There you go. Yes, and I don't know, it's got a really small print. And it's in a plastic bottle. I don't know anything about water, but I know who does. Woo! Dr. Dale knows everything about water.
Well, first of all, I don't know if you remember this, but recently in the last few weeks, there was an article that little plastic pieces are being found in bottled water, which is pretty shocking. Pretty shocking. Anyway, when it comes to water, most people don't realize that our bodies are 70% water. The same as this planet. This planet is 70% water. So water is an important part of nutrition. It's one of the parts of food that we take in, water. Or it should be. All natural food that you pick on this earth all has water in it. But when you cook the food, many times you cook the water out and you have dry food. And so upon that kind of diet, which we call SAD, SAD, it's standard American diet, right?
Sad.
Okay. on that kind of diet, it suggested people drink 8 glasses of water a day, which in some ways is kind of a lot of water. And when you consider where they're going to get this water from, plastic bottles that actually leach out some chemicals, and now we know that besides that, the water may have some plastic pieces in that. It's not a perfect picture for perfect health. The truth of the matter is that the world and nature has set up a perfect arrangement where food is full of water. So if people, instead of having processed food where the water's cooked out, if they were to have a few fruit a day, several vegetables a day, these are packed with water and you get the water you need. So it's not real complicated. If people are going to buy water, if you want to take it to work or take it to school, I suggest having a water filter in your house, a decent water filter, and filling up a glass bottle with that water and taking it with, because glass doesn't leach out chemicals. So in the store, there's some waters you can buy that are in glass, and they're absolutely preferable. So if you have a good filter in your house and you have a glass bottle, you're set. And if you eat some fruit and vegetables for each meal, you're actually going to find that you need to drink less water. I mean, as a nutritionist, people say, how many glasses of water do I need to eat a day? And I say, well, if you follow this program, you can just drink water when you're thirsty. And that's really the bottom line if you eat naturally. Any questions?
I have a question. What about This is not good?
Okay,
Hydro
so
flasks.
the water containers, I think you just need to be aware that stainless steel is fine.
Okay. Whew.
But a lot of these have plastic inside.
No, this is stainless steel all the
if
way
it's
through.
stainless steel, it should be fine, but not the ones that are coated with like a Teflon or a plastic coating inside. But stainless steel is good. Yeah.
Whew. I just bought this. Thank goodness. I didn't want to have to dump it in the trash on the way to the car.
No, that's good.
Okay,
yeah.
thank you.
And then you wanted to ask a question.
Yeah, I've seen in the store you can buy alkalized water.
Right.
Okay. What's helpful?
So, what we're discovering is that foods are broken up into two groups, kind of alkaline foods and acid foods. All carbs, all natural vegetables, fruit, anything that grows is alkaline. And meat is amino acids. That's acids. And fat are fatty acids. They're acids. And there's a balance between two that we need. But in the American diet, which is basically out of balance, it's more meats and more fats than ever before. It tends to be more acid. And so acid contributes to a lot of diseases like arthritis and, so on and so forth. So people feel that if they eat these foods and then they drink water that has super high alkalinity, that they'll balance it. But it's really, really tricky because if you're eating an alkaline healthy diet and you have water with a super high alkaline count, you actually can become too alkaline. Balance is everything. And the truth is that we don't know enough to be able to figure out that exact balance. Just eating healthfully, having just plain water is 7, which is neither acid nor alkaline, slightly alkaline, actually. That would be the best way.
Anthony, you want to ask a question?
I do, huh?
Yes.
No, well, in regards to health, my health is not that good, I just suffered a brain aneurysm on May 26th. And one of my biggest things was I never drank water.
Right.
And now I'm drinking a lot of water.
Right.
But I've noticed that every once in a while when I do drink too much water, my stomach gets upset. What causes that?
Well, again, it's what I was saying, that ultimately it's not that you weren't drinking enough water, you weren't eating enough foods that were high in water. So if you were to change your diet to having foods that were high in water, a lot of berries and fruit, whatever else you're eating for breakfast, salads with whatever you're eating for lunch, cooked vegetables and salads with whatever you're eating for dinner. If you were to have high water content foods, you would need less water. Our bodies aren't made to be pouring a lot of water in our stomach. They become bloated. Some things you just learn by experience, and that's really one of them. So eating foods high in water would be much more effective. Then there's a second thing. Processed foods take out a lot of the tastes. So manufacturers try to make them tasty by putting in a lot of salt and other things. And salt causes your body to leach out water. So the more processed foods you eat, the thirstier you are. So it throws things out of balance. So if you were to eat foods that didn't have hidden salts and foods with high water content, you'd find that your need for water would be less, and you could just sip it rather than feeling a need to drink large amounts.
Has anyone figured out, because when I was a kid, I heard that drinking cold water was actually a shock to the system and that I should only drink like room temperature water. Do you know if have any science?
I've never read a study. The truth of the matter is, when it's really hot, I love putting ice cubes in my water, and it feels good. I've never had a cram from it or this or that. I think all things in moderation, but I don't know. That one I just can't.
Yeah, because I try to explain to people, like in very hot countries, they serve you tea. Like in India, they serve you tea. But there are other reasons for serving you tea, too, is that they're boiling the water to make sure the water's healthy. So yeah, I was just curious.
I wouldn't overdo it. But if you're really hot and you're really craving cold water, I think it's not really an issue. Yeah.
So how many glasses, what is the answer to how much fluid you should take a day?
Okay, so the answer to that is if you have vegetables and fruit, with your meals, I'm not saying it's the only thing, but if you have it with each meal, and you don't have very many processed foods that have hidden salts, you can drink water when you're thirsty, and that should be perfect.
Oh, that's a good answer.
Very good answer.
I thought you were going to give me some kind of mathematical computation.
I know, everybody wants that.
I'm saying, if you're 6'3",
you have to understand, we've been around for hundreds and thousands of years.
Right.
We have a built-in mechanism that absolutely works so well.
Right.
We've been throwing it off because we now have this processed food that was not around before.
Right.
And so, we do need water when we're eating foods that have the waters cooked out and have added salt. But if we go back to what makes basic common sense and has worked for thousands, if not millions of years, it's not really an issue.
I actually had a question about, I'm preparing for this race and then I'm really active and I like doing sports. This is kind of more a question about food, but what is the best thing to eat after doing like running for 3 miles or after sports games? Because I find myself like wondering what would be the best thing for me to eat.
I feel that the best thing for you to eat would be a trail mix and fruit. So, the nuts restore the protein, and they have the really wonderful healthy fats. And the fruit is cooling, it's got the water, it's got the vitamins and minerals. You can't do better than that. And it's live, so it's really potent, much more than something in a bar or something that's been processed.
Perfect. Thank you.
You're
Dr.
welcome.
Dale Figtree. It's always a gift when you're on the show, so thank you.
Well, it's fun.
I know. I can't wait to see you again next week. Isn't that great? I'm booking her in. Dominique, put her in for next week. Let's take a break. It's Aretha Salda, the Queen of Teen. We'll be back with more after these messages. We are back, and this is the Santa Barbara Teen Sports Radio Show, and I'm your host, Aretha Salda, the Queen of Teen. Please tune in every single Tuesday. It's always a gift when she comes out. I know.
Yeah. There's just so many things going on too, and it's nice to relearn about your basic.
It's true.
I don't know.
I was telling her when she left, I love it. Joanne Stoltz, I love her, my realtor for, 30 plus years. She calls up last time she was here and she goes, Erica. I said, hey, Joanne, what's going on? I thought she wanted a review or something. Oh, no. She goes, I love that show. Last time she was on, she listened to the show. And I thought I was really funny that show. Nothing, And so, I don't know, I was trying to fish for a compliment. I love that Dr. Dale. Oh, good. Yeah. When's she coming back on? Who knows? You know what I mean? It's like one of those things. Okay, bye.
Just one of those things.
It's just like one of those things. Alexandria, when you have self-esteem issues and you just was trying to fish for a compliment or something.
Hey,
Has anybody in this room been to Sedona?
No.
No? You have? Dr. D, you're awfully quiet over there. Want to grab a mic? So we went to Sedona, Dominique and I, and I'm telling you, Dominique loved it, and I really had a problem with it. Every time I did, every I don't know, what would you say, quarter of a mile, they have the circles. What do you call it? Roundabouts? What do you call it?
Intersections that are roundabouts.
Roundabouts. Like they have in Montecito here. Well, I had a problem navigating there. I don't know what it is with me. What would you say was wrong with me?
The proper timing of the yield and the trusting that others are going to yield.
Because there was so many ways to get in, right? And I can't tell you, being with me, crazy woman, okay, going around and I can't do it. I kept on diving into a shopping center. I just can't, because there's more than one way to get in. It's not there's 3 or 4 different ways. They're big circles. And Sedona's got so much energy as it is, which I felt immediately as soon as we got on that Sedona line. I felt it. All of a sudden, the mountain structures change, and I'm like, oh my God, I felt I just jumped into a portal. And I don't know, when I got into a restaurant, usually I'm the kind of person, because I'm by myself, no one's going to see Erica again. Who talks to themselves in the third person? I do. So I'll look at somebody, oh, you're going to eat that fry? You're never going to see me again. You know what I mean? So I was in restaurants, and I had to find the furthest, table, put baby in the corner. That was me. Put Erica in the corner. I didn't want to be around people. I had to be far away in the distance in another galaxy. Asked Dominique. I was acting so weird. I'm weird anyway. But I didn't want to leave. I felt time was I thought I was there a week. We were only there 3 days. But we had a really, really good time. I kept on asking her, I feel so weird. Serious.
Well, part of it's really lovely to travel to different parts of our country, and especially parts of our country where it's so beautiful. And when you're in a city that also has nature all around it, there's something about being in nature that's so calming. And they've actually done studies. If people just have a nature on their nature picture on their computer screen, your blood pressure will go down just staring at the picture for 5 minutes. So it's something so beautiful about being in nature.
Yeah, you could say nature. Dr. D, what do you think it is about Sedona?
Well, first of all,
you're very sensitive.
The roundabouts are news to me. They put them in since the last time I was up there, which, believe it or not, was 2002.
Oh.
That was the last time I was up there. So they didn't have roundabouts then. And I don't know why they felt the need to do that.
Everybody takes Bitcoin there.
Yeah, I'm not, huh?
They take Bitcoin everywhere.
What is Bitcoin?
It's a little cryptocurrency.
It's online hocus pocus. It's woo-woo stuff.
It's all woo-woo there.
That's why I don't know about it. Okay, cool. We're good with that.
Anyway, the whole atmosphere of Sedona, and I have to tell you that, not again, I haven't been there. You've seen it firsthand most recently, but even when I was there in 2002 and the times that we'd been there before, it was becoming more and more commercial, which was really sad. Now, out by places like Bell Rock and Cathedral Rock and so on and so forth, there aren't shops and things. But when you go into Sedona, into town, the main drag, which I can't remember if that's Oak Creek or what have you, but then if you'd make that left turn and go away from Oak Creek and you're still in Sedona, it's just become so commercial. It's so hyped up. It was so disappointing. So I don't know if that is even more so now. Some of the pictures that I've seen, and they did a commercial up there, and the roads were just beautiful. I mean, beautiful blacktop and the white lines and the sidewalks, even along Oak Creek Canyon Road, which I was going, really? They paved it and curbed it? Wow, right along Bell Rock there. I was amazed. Now you say they have roundabouts
everywhere,
which actually makes it, in my mind, it makes it easier with the bicycles and the cars, because especially if you have weather and stuff like that, having a roundabout, you're never going to have an issue like, the electricity knocked out the lights or something like that.
Exactly, that's a plus.
So that's a plus.
And then, of course, the other thing too is if you learn how to maneuver them, and it's not that, I mean, I know how to maneuver them. You know, you get in, and when we first experienced the roundabouts in Ireland, when you get in, if you don't know where to get out, stay in. You don't have to get out. There's no law that says you can continue to go into a circle as long as you want.
We did that, and after the third time around, I thought it was kind of fun. And then, but I said, don't you remember me? And
Hi again.
I know, exactly, that's what I did.
Do the Queen wave.
I did. And then Dominique just she's so patient with me. You have to have patience with me. So anyway, yeah. And
but
then,
again,
we ended up in a thrift store, and I bought a chair.
It's these places. It is these places that a lot of people like to go to.
I did.
And the more people hear about it, the more people want to go, and the more people, and the more.
$36.
So they have to accommodate. You know, it's just like here in Santa Barbara or Montecito or Carpinteria or Summerlin. If you're able to attract people to come to your area, you're going to have to make those kinds of accommodations.
Absolutely. And I used to work with Caltrans, and actually the roundabouts are safer than traffic lights. They've proven it. That's why they're putting them in. It's just not Americans aren't as familiar with them.
And one last thing to that, they did a study. There was a small town in the Midwest that was having a problem. This one stop sign. It was a 4-way stop, and people were blowing through them, and there were numerous accidents on a regular basis. So, and they tried traffic signals, and they tried all kinds of stuff. Finally, they decided, you know what? We're just going to take all of the traffic control elements out. You're on your own. Accidents plummeted. They went down. And roundabouts are basically that same kind of thing. Like at Las Positas and Cliff Drive.
Yes.
You have to
mind yourself.
You got to mind yourself. And I have no problem with that, so which is great, But I'm glad you guys got to go there. It sounds like you had a great time.
I had to cross it off my bucket list. I recommend anybody to go. It's a little different. Okay. A lot of energy. You would like it. Huh? Oh, we have to go. That whole section was about Sedona.
That's
okay.
Right.
Everybody, if you haven't gone to Sedona, check it out. I recommend it. Okay. Let's fill up our coffees now. We have guests we're going to introduce after these messages. This is Erica Salda, the Queen of Teen. We'll be back with more after these messages. We are back, and this is the Santa Barbara Teen Sports Radio Show. I am your host, Erica Salda, the Queen of Teen. Please tune in
every single Tuesday.
Okay, back from Sedona. Just kidding. Anthony, who'd you bring?
Well, actually, I brought a very, very good friend of mine, and she's been a blessing to our team. She was actually an intern at the Santa Barbara Response Network, and she actually was one of our dispatchers during that time when the Isla Vista shooting happened. And she actually was the one that helped me coordinate to respond to the Isla Vista shooting, and I couldn't have done it without her. And she is an amazing person that I truly love and respect a lot, and I'm very glad that she came into town last week during Fiestas, which was actually really nice. So we had some time together, and I met her boyfriend. Her boyfriend's an awesome gentleman, and the friend that I'm talking about, and which I'm very glad that she's here, is Aretha, and her boyfriend, his name is Jacob, and I'm really happy that they're here. And so I was talking to Aretha and her boyfriend, and she's done so much for our community here in Santa Barbara when she was here, and she was going to school. She was an intern at the Glennon Association, and she was helping us out with all our psychological stuff. And now she just let me know that she's going to do her master's in Denver. So, Aretha, can you tell me about that?
Okay. Hi. I'm pretty nervous. Just bear up with me.
It's okay. Be nervous. Trust me.
Okay. So, I worked with Anthony and Gina during my exchange period in UCSB, and it was like as it was 4 years ago. And then I think everyone knows about the shooting in IV. So actually that night I was on where the shooting was, and it was like super scary because I thought it was like fireworks, but it's not. It was like shooting. So Anthony called me and told me that there's a shooting and you're not going anywhere, and then I just helped out and coordinate, like pulling out a team and dispatch. And
she did an amazing job. And the really cool thing is that being an exchange student, I know that you've gone through a lot to be able to come here into the States and be able to take your schooling here. Tell me how you got to that.
You mean to my master's?
Mm-hmm.
I will be studying my master's in University of Denver, and it's going to be a master's in sports psychology. So I think it came into me like a realization that I love sports a lot, and it's kind of like part of my life because I'm a dancer, and I also did my yoga teacher training. So I also do yoga, and I also do like personal training. So I was like thinking, I put a lot of time in all those sports, so why not just combine what I study and make it into like my profession? So I decided to study sports psychology.
So it's interesting. Sports psychology has more to do with the mind, whereas being a personal trainer, you would think, has more to do with the body.
Yeah.
Why is it that you're focusing on the direction of the mind? What's charming you for that?
Well, I think it's because like if you take people who have the same physique and same like physical skills, and it comes to the mind game instead of the physical game. So you gotta like tune up your mind so that you can be more aligned with your body and that you can achieve more. Yeah.
Awesome. And what's your favorite sports? Like, have you coached on any sports or been on any team sports?
Well, I do more individual sports, and I'm a dancer. So I do like commercial dancing or like performances. Yeah.
Nice.
You see this new generation of children that are coming up, and they're so advanced. So do you think it's more of a genetic wiring that they're coming in that way? I don't think that they're being trained at 2 years old. I mean, I just see that 4, 5, and 6, they are just so advanced. So what do you attribute that to?
Well, I mean, like kids nowadays, they're amazing. Like, I browse through like Instagram and YouTube. It's like, whoa, they're like so good. I think it's because like they have more, they are more exposed to different sports and different how people do it differently, and so maybe they can like have their own style, and of course their parents like give them more resources to develop them into like the sports that they like or their parents like sometimes, so that they're really good now.
I think too, this is kind of what you just said too, but people are evolving in that way specifically because we have, as one person gets better and then they teach their kid those skills that took them a long time to learn, or, they put them in contact with somebody and then they can get those skills more quickly as opposed to having to go through the whole learning process of starting over from the beginning. And also our world is just so globalized now in a sense that we don't need to, every person like individually develops those skills. We just have contact with so many other people.
Yeah, it's almost like a collective consciousness, sort of. That their neuro brain studies are finding that we have mirror neurons. So we're literally, even looking at each other in the eye, our nervous systems are learning things and picking things up. So there's an amazing amount that we're absorbing from nonverbal cues and just from our environment.
Another thing that I remember, I did club soccer, which was it was way like a bigger commitment than I had expected, only being in like 5th, 6th grade. And my mom was like, when I was younger, they didn't really have like club teams that were like so intense. And so I feel like as people are gaining more skills and coming up with these programs for like young kids to get them a jump start on like their college journey and like what they want, like the sport that they want to progress in.
When did you start your boys with their baseball swings and getting coached?
Their first sport, really, they did the basketball, but that was at 4. But then when they didn't break 6 foot, when they were in 8th grade, I'm like, oh, we got to switch. They actually, and when Joe and John were in like 7th, 8th grade, when I saw, not to be graphic, but when they started getting armpit hair, and then started getting facial hair, and they were maturing early, because we don't want to see hair until like 11th, 12th grade. We want them to not, I don't want them to start growing till like they're a junior in college. You know what I mean? We want them to be a late bloomer. And when they started, I saw that fuzz was turning into, you could shave. And I'm like, oh, God, you're going to be a shorty. You know what I mean? So we had to switch. We had basketball. That's a big boy sport. That's not like a midget sport. So I had to I'm like, you're 10,000 swings behind, So I had to put up a batting cage in the backyard. I had to shift fast. So my little John got a bigger benefit than Joseph because he wasn't on the club teams and all that. So it was bad because basketball was our thing. So it was bad. Basketball. But we caught up.
I was going to say, too, because I did ballet for 10 years from when I was 2 to 12, or, true turning 3 till when I was 12. And it was hard to then go into volleyball, which I started in 7th grade.
See?
And, everybody here, I guess in general you'd find even with soccer and stuff, but volleyball, especially in Santa Barbara, is really, really competitive and a really big sport. And so I was so far behind. I had to get privates every weekend and everything just to make the club teams. And I was on a really good club team after for freshman year, but that was also super competitive. And at least 2 times a month we were driving down to Anaheim for a whole day of playing, and I realized I was way too short because I was 5'8" and everyone else was 6'4".
Right. Well, imagine, and I'm only 5 feet. Go for it.
Yeah, so everything gets more competitive, I'd say.
But the bond, I would never take any of that away because I went through 2 cars, but that bonding you have with the family, I would never take any of that away. The best years of the family life, because that's a lot of hours in a car. It just is. There's a lot of traveling, and it really is the only thing that keeps the family together. For me, for our family. I mean, because I coached a lot of it, so I would never undo any of that. Because there was a lot of going to Arizona, Vegas, or whatever, you know, and it wasn't just my kids. I packed the car, you know, because I was a driver, so it was good. And your parents, you say the same thing with you and your parents, you know, it was just time. Spent a lot of time with the kids, so your parents too.
Yeah, I completely agree. My younger brother, who just started polo, actually, he that polo fields have really like brought my family together because we go every Sunday and go watch the polo games together. Oh, yeah. So it's become like a really great bonding experience for my family.
Yeah, it's all good. You don't have, that time goes by so fast. Let's take a little break. It's Aretha Chui, the Queen of Teen. We'll be back with more after these messages. We are back, and this is the Santa Barbara Teen Sports Radio Show. I am your host, Aretha Chui, the Queen of Teen. Please tune in
every single Tuesday.
So funny. You're really a comedian. That's it. Yeah, Alexandria Marx is a comedian.
Oh, yeah.
All right, we got a couple of minutes. Tell me about your run. How can we help you?
Yeah, so I signed up for the 7th annual She Is Beautiful race, which if you are not familiar with it, it was kind of designed to bring more joy, more self-love, and more sweat to women's lives. It embraces women, their strong legs, smart girls, and celebrating yourself and supporting how awesome you are. Whoa. So the race is on September 22nd, and everyone's welcome, all levels. It doesn't matter if this is your first race or if this is your 100th race. And so to sign up for the race, you can go to runsheisbeautiful.com, also to get more information. I know that not everyone's a runner, and so you can also donate to my team, which my team's called Surfer Girls, which if you watched the show last week, I brought my friends and we're all surfers, so we're all doing it together, so we felt like it was a good name. So, so if you go to my Instagram at Kahla.Stern, you can go to the link in my bio and donate to our group, and all the money that is donated is going to Girls Inc., Greater Santa Barbara. And if you're not familiar with that, it's a non-profit organization that encourages all girls to be strong, smart, and bold. It's just, it's such a great program because I feel like it's really going to help bring our community get together, as well as, raising awareness at the same time.
That's really huge, because one thing that people may not realize, there are a lot of women in our community that have self-talk going on in their head. And the self-talk is saying, you're not good enough, you didn't do that well enough, you didn't meet this expectation, you should have done this, you should have done that. And we have this negative push, and our self-esteem is affected. And so when you get together with people and you do things like this, it helps bring that beautiful smile and self-love in your being, and it slows down that self-talk, and it brings in that happy talk of, wow, this is fun, this is great, I don't have to be perfect.
Yeah, and that's what I really love about this run in particular, is sometimes when people go into workout environments, they can feel like it's competition, like, oh, I'm not good enough, or I can't run as far as them. And I feel like this one's really about like going in, and it's all about like making yourself like feel good and making everyone else, and really helping everyone feel like they can do it.
Feeling good for showing up.
Yes, yeah, just showing up. And so you'll have the option to choose if you want to do the 5K or the 10K. And so it doesn't matter what you choose, whatever you feel most comfortable with. And when you sign up, there's going to be a sort of calendar, like an 8-week thing, just to kind of help you prepare and get ready for the race.
Awesome.
And then if you have any more questions about it, you can also email me at KaylaMStern@iCloud.com if you don't have Instagram or want to find out how you can sign up or donate.
I just want to make a plug for these events. We also have the walk coming up on September 9th that you could really check out. It's on AFSP's website. If you just click on Santa Barbara, Out of the Darkness, you'll find it. Anyway, these are just really great events to get involved in. Santa Barbara puts on so many community involvement activities, and we just saw Fiesta, obviously, this past weekend, but I really encourage you to go and push yourself outside of your comfort zone, because you never know what you'll get out of those opportunities.
Yeah, I want both of you to do up something we'll put up on the site.
Okay.
On Facebook, and same thing, Anthony. So we got to do that. Yeah. Yeah, you feeling it?
I'm feeling it.
Yeah, okay.
Always do.
So you're feeling it. That's so nice.
Absolutely. But
Dominique, what else we got going?
Well, that sense of community helps us all realize there's a bigger picture, and that bigger picture just helps you feel like you're participating in positive things, and it just makes everything in your life so much better.
Yeah, and I also find myself, like, when I'm running by myself or whether I'm running with a group of people, like, I would choose running with a group of people, like, any day, because everyone's definitely like, helping each other out.
Yeah, and you definitely go further and enjoy more when you're with others.
So, Anthony, close out the show for us. What are you going to do?
What am I going to do? Well, I don't know, but all I can say is to all the teens that hopefully when you guys are listening, you guys get some good advice. We've got some good people here, and as well as yourselves. Don't ever forget that, things are hard, but you guys can make it through. And just know that just stay positive and don't let nobody put you down. Take it all the way to the top until you're ready to just shine. So that's pretty much it. What do you think?
I think we have a great show, and I think I'm loving you. And I think I'm so blessed that you're with us.
I'm very blessed.
I'm so happy that Dr. Dale said she's coming back again next week.
Well, we got this. We got a very special crew, and all I can say is I love being here.
That's it. Yeah. Well, we love having you. Hey, Santa Barbara, we love you. We're all blessed to be here. We've gone through a heck of a last year, and we came back strong.
Because we're going to stay strong.
Because we're together.
That's right. 805 strong.
That's it. God bless Santa Barbara. See you next week.